Welcome in, Bears fans. Bears' latest fan art sports. I'm Dan Levy. The Green Bay Packers suck. I'm sorry. Scientific fact. Don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. Welcome into a special show as we break down all things Chicago Bears going into week 3 against the Dallas Cowboys. Still going through all the issues that occurred with Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions, and the things that have come out of it has definitely been a bad one. We start first with injury status of Jalen Johnson out indefinitely. The Bears take another hit as Pro Bowl quarterback Jalen Johnson left the 52-21 loss to the Lions with a new injury, which is a groin injury. He went down after a diving pass breakup in the second quarter. Required medical attention, has not returned, and is now being ruled out indefinitely. Already a complicated history of the poor Jalen, 26 years old, already a tough offseason. He revealed on the Pivot podcast that he tore an adductor off the pelvic bone earlier in the year, which kept him on the non-football injury list, which sounds like a pretty bad injury list to me. Through training camp, he was done. Week 1, he was hurting. And while Ben Johnson initially said that he had re-aggravated something there, he clarified that it is indeed a new injury unrelated to the offseason issue. So what's next? Chicago's still gathering details on the severity. Surgery remains a possibility, though no final decision has been made. For now, Johnson is considered out indefinitely, leaving the Bears secondary even more thin than we already had it at. Defense is in crisis. And, right now, Johnson's injury compounds what was already a nightmare showing for the Bears defense, allowing 52 points, the most since 2014, 8.8 yards per play, that is. Their worst mark since 1961, and with linebacker T.J. Edwards also leaving Sunday's game. With a hamstring injury, Chicago's got a lot of holes in 2 key positions. Ben Johnson, even he knows this will look good.
We talked about that today at the team meeting. We've seen that type of football, that brand of football that we want to be about. We saw it throughout training camp. We didn't see it enough yesterday for it to be up to our standard, and that's really the way the game went. We got outgained by a significant number of yards, and really it came down to, I think, 10 explosive plays for over 300 yards, and that's just really not what we want to be about. We came into the game with a plan and how we wanted to contain these explosive athletes, and we just didn't do a good enough job at the end of the day. But I do agree with you. I think it starts with how we play, less so about the scheme or anything like that, but our play style really needs to stand out in a more positive fashion going forward.
Everybody comes in with a plan, Ben Johnson. Everybody comes in with a plan. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. 52 points is that punch that you guys took to the face that you guys could not come back with, and it didn't get any better. Bottom line, the Bears defense shredded in Detroit, and now they could be without their top corner for an extended stretch. What was already an emergency and threatening to turn into a full-blown disaster, this one falls on not Ben Johnson, not Dennis Allen, but Ryan Poles. GM Ryan Poles. These are things that we said we needed to have fixed. These are the things that we went into saying this is the stuff that general managers get paid for. You got the extension. We said these are things that need to be addressed, and this team is now suffering because of it. After blowing the 11-point lead in week 1, the Bears followed up with a 52-21 collapse in Detroit. Really, really bad loss. Now playoff odds for the Bears as if we even cared about it. But history's not kind of teams that have started off 0-2, just 12% reach the postseason, and the Bears are already behind with both losses in the division. Even a 500-type season will still be hard to sell without clear signs of any progress by year's end. Caleb Williams, however, a little bit of progress. Ben Johnson actually did not mind the progression of Caleb Williams. Here's what he had to say on that one.
I did see significant growth. It's not perfect yet. There's still a number of plays where our eyes aren't quite in the right position, or we're holding on to the ball just a tick longer than what we're coaching. But I did see tremendous growth in terms of going through the progression. There were a few times there where we had to get to number 3 or number 4 in the read, and he was trusting his feet and his footwork and was able to get there. So I did think he got better from week 1 to week 2. I'm encouraged by what I saw, and I'm hopeful that we'll continue to see another leap here this week.
Again, Caleb Williams, in terms of how he did in that first drive, I think everybody's a lot more happier with him in terms of getting the plays off in time for that first drive. And the first quarter really was a fun game to watch. Both teams were battling. They were both trading shots, offensive shots. You could tell that the defense wasn't yet set up on both sides. And to be honest, I actually think that Caleb does a better job when the team is not prepared. As much as you want to say it, and I know Ben Johnson wants him to get comfortable and wants him to get steady underneath that center, I mean, it's going to win him for now, but the quicker they got that offense out, the less time the defense had time to set up and figure out what Caleb was doing. I thought Caleb was actually in a better position. I thought the Bears' offense was in a better position. What did not help was all the offensive and pre-snap penalties that the Bears had. The offensive line, the rookie woes. This offensive line right now is a mess. 6 sacks allowed in 2 games, constant flags, poor cohesion. And again, a rookie class that has not really been seen, including Ozzie Trapillo, Shamar Stewart. Both guys have not played. 4 premium picks, no impact. That includes Colston Loveland and Luther Burden III. Only had 2 catches for 2 yards. It's going to take time. Like I said before, Caleb is showing a little bit of improvement. This team is taking time. And like Olin Kreutz, the famous Chicago Bears center who did so many good things for those Bears teams, was on a recent radio station in Chicago and said that it takes time for an offensive line to gel. In the beginning, they're going to make some mistakes. It's going to get ugly. And then they're going to look at film really hard. They're going to look at each other, start holding each other accountable. This is a work in progress. It's hard to say it out loud. It really is a hard thing to say out loud. But in terms of what's going to happen, this team needs to gel. We as Chicago Bears fans, it's hard to say it. It's hard to say it. We need patience. We need patience. We need to not expect any playoffs. We need to expect that this could be a very ugly season. But again, this is one of those seasons where let's take the positive on it. Look at the things that are better from last season. Already, I still like Ben Johnson way better than Eberflus. I still think Caleb is looking better. It's going to take time for him to break all those nasty habits that he had from college and his rookie season, and it seems like he is doing it. With an offensive line that is not performing the way it should be, it's going to take time for them to gel, and then it's going to take time for them to gel with Caleb. The defense, you can't do anything about that one. That one's going to constantly be a rough one right now, and that one is constantly something that we're going to be trying to keep an eye on. But as far as everything else goes, let's take the little wins. Let's take the little wins as much as we can. Where do we see improvement? Where do we see things that are good? And again, I am still smiling about Roma Dunze. I really love the way him and Caleb are playing together, and that's what's keeping it ahead. Again, this season may be down the toilet. It may be a bad one, but again, it is up to the Bears to figure out what needs to be fixed. And General Manager Ryan Poles, this is where you earn your money. You just got extended for the next 5 years. Let's see what you can come up with. If not, you're going to be gone. As far as one last talk from Ben Johnson about the Lions, here's what he had to say about his former team, giving him a kick in the butt.
Listen, it's a good group that we went against yesterday, and they were hungry. That showed on the tape. They finished. They had the explosive plays, and we got to play complementary football at the end of the day too. If one unit isn't playing as well as we'd like, we need both offense and special teams to come through and balance us on out. And we simply didn't stop the bleeding in really any phase and play complementary football.
And as far as complimentary football is concerned, we're going to need some better football going on with the Bears, because in week 3 this week, it is time for what is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be coming to Chicago. Their Cowboys are going to bring firepower with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens. And that's not going to be good for a defense that's already hurting. But their defense under ex-coach Matt Eberflus has been leaky, and Chicago's defense allowing 73 points in the last 5 minutes. This is going to be a tough one. So keep this one in mind. Bears will be hosting the Cowboys. Game starts at noon, kickoff on Fox, Soldier Field. Vegas already has them at negative 115 on the money line. This one is going to be as close to a coin flip as you can on an NFL slate. Right now, a couple of outlets have the Cowboys winning 33-30. We got some people saying that Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense will find a way to get the road upset. The Bears, Now, there's a sports betting dime that has the Bears up 25.4. Their formula actually leans towards the Chicago. ESPN is saying that the slight edge is going to Dallas, and a couple more that is that. But the storylines to watch for this upcoming game: the Bears have surrendered an NFL worst 79 points in 2 games. Dallas has given up 61, showing their defense isn't airtight either. We know Eberflus, we know that defense, so that's something that's pretty good. And again, that's probably one of the more main storylines, is that that's what's coming. Caleb is going to still try to build on small improvements, but protection remains a big issue. Can that offensive line do enough to figure out how to gel and how to fix what was busted going into this game against to Dallas? How they go from Detroit and the Vikings and still do what they got to do. And the issues on defense, we'll see. But most analysts are leaning Cowboys, but the betting line says it's basically even. Expect points and potentially fireworks, and look for this to be an offensive juggernaut. And look for this for both teams to score heavily in the offense, because defense on both sides is where both teams are hurting. That's going to do it once again for Bears Latest. I'm Dan Levy, Fan Art Sports. And once again, what will put you to sleep? Caleb is making small improvements. The season isn't over, and the Green Bay Packers suck. I'm Dan Levy. Follow over here for more. Hit me in the comments section. Let me know what you think about what's going to happen here with the Bears and the Cowboys. And let me know if there's anything that you are positive about going into this season. We know the negatives. We know the troubles. What are you feeling good about with this Chicago Bears team? We'll do it again tomorrow. Talk to you later. Green Bay Packers suck. Go Bears!